Hi folks! Welcome to Living the Skye Life. If you're new here, I'm Willie.
And I'm Sarah. We're a musician and artist, and this channel is about our journey, escaping suburban life and moving to our dream home, a 200-year-old cottage on the Isle of Skye in the Scottish Highlands.
Along for the ride are our two crazy but adorable pups, Jack Spaniels and Nori.
Join us as we experience the highs and the lows of living in a remote corner of a wild Hebridean island.
This week, everyone in the area is very excited, as for the first time the Waverley, the world's last seagoing paddle steamer, thanks Wikipedia, is coming to our local village pier. So of course we head down to see what all the fuss is about.
Plus, I show you how we keep the garden hydrated and flourishing during the driest spring for nearly 100 years.
And I have another very important upgrade for Betty the boat, to make sure she's ready for her big and bold summer adventures.
If you don't already, please hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with our weekly adventures.
Join us as we continue. Living the Skye Life. Yesterday we got the boat off its mooring again and brought it back in, and the reason is that I've decided to put a chart plotter on the boat. Now we've got a fish finder, there's a little bit of chart plotting, but it only goes to a depth of about 30 metres. And out at sea, unfortunately that's not going to work for us anymore, because we're going into deeper water. We're going to be going on big adventures this time and going to the mainland on the boat and small islands, things like that. We're up in our game basically. And so we've had to do the same with the chart plotter and fish finder as well. Now a big thanks to the person that gave us that. It was a gift from one of our viewers, so we really appreciate it. But for the boat we needed something a little bit more serious like this. It's called a Lowrance Elite FS9. And we're not sponsored. I bought this myself. We're going to be fitting this today on the boat, so that means taking the old one off. But the first thing I've got to do, I've got to take that seat off again. But guess what? I greased those bolts so I can take it off fairly easily. Right enough, the socket set made light work of loosening the nuts, and the seat came out with ease. With the seat out, it was time to trace and remove the power and transducer cabling from the old fish finder. And then remove the fish finder unit itself. Just to do the battery next, got to get those cables out and make room for the new battery, because I'm putting a dedicated battery in there. So if there's a problem, I can just whip the battery out and put it back in without having to worry about disconnecting anything else. Then I had to trace the cables to the stern of the boat to deal with the transducer cable and the power cable. And finally, for the removal, I had to strip out the transducer and bracket from the transom of the boat. Come on. Hey. Hi Jack. Hiya pal. Come and see what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Right, well that's the transducer out now. I made this little bracket for it. I'm not going to get away with that this time though. I'm going to screw it into the hull. It's far bigger, far more serious, but I can use that on my kayak. That's that one out. Time to put the new one in now. Just got this problem now. This is where the last fish finder was. Now I'm going to use this hole because I can use that for the new one, but this, sand it back, fill the holes and paint it, and that'll take a little while to dry, but I can crack on with other stuff in the meantime. Take a good few hours to set, but in the meantime I'll see if Sarah needs any of this milliput for any projects she's working on indoors. Right, so the transducer is going to go around here. It's quite a hefty piece of kit, this one, so I can't just use, a little bracket that I made up at home. I need to put it on here properly, and that means screwing into the hull, which I don't really want to do, but as you can see here, it's already been done. Someone's already put a fish finder here, so I'm going to have to cut this little screw off, this little bolt, and also I'm going to have to sand back this checker plate, because I need to make sure that it's nice and flush so that it goes up against it nicely, and I'll also use some Sikaflex for the screw holes to make sure that there's no water gets in. Hello Jack. Hello Jack. You love transducers, don't you? What have you got? What have you got? You got something for me? You want this tiny little stick? Okie dokie. So, Jack, you're going to help me. We're going to put this transducer on between us. Good lad. First thing I've got to do is I've got to mark out where this little bracket goes, and because this boat goes on the sand a lot, it's moored on a beach basically, I have to make sure that the transducer doesn't hang down underneath. If it does, it could actually wreck it, because the full weight of the boat would be on the bracket and it would damage it. So I have to make sure that it's just slightly above. I'm going to put it as low as I possibly can and as level as I can, so it beams the sonar beams straight down to the bottom of the sea, and then I can see what's going on. Let's do it. First things first, I need to mark this up. And Jack is going to help, aren't you, bud? Yes, you are. You're a good boy. I'm not really sure this is helping Jack, but, you know, we'll go with it anyway. There's nothing here to throw you. Do you have it this? This is the kind of thing that he wants me to throw for him. Where are your toys? You've got hundreds. Right, so I'm going to put it around about here, I reckon. And knowing out, approximately we have to grind off this checker plate and also to take off this screw. So let's do that next. See me continue the installation later in the video.
One of the great things about our garden is that we have a burn running through it, which is a stream. In Scotland they're called burns, and that means we never run out of fresh water to water our garden with. I think it's spring fed, so even when it's really dry and there's been no rain, there's still water in the burn. So we do have a fresh water source to water our garden with. The downside is you have to use buckets and lug it backwards and forwards when you need to water everything, because we do have a hose pipe joined up to the mains and the burn is at one side of the garden and everything else is on the other side. So that's what I'm going to do tonight. It's a really nice time of day to do it, when we're just losing the sun and it's those last golden rays of the evening. I'm going to water the garden and take a look at my wildflower patch. I think Willie's actually doing the same thing, but he is jet washing the boat. So he also has to do that with buckets of water from the burn. Let's go. Is that nice? Bye-bye. Thank you. Sorry. No. I know. No, it's not fair, is it? Don't eat it. Oh, it stinks. Stinks, Nori. We done? We done? Now, paw. Paw? Yes, good boy. Mwah. Let's go. Here at at Skye Life Cottage, we always try and use as little water as possible, as we have a private water supply that we share with a neighbour. However, this year Scotland had its driest spring in nearly 70 years, so we appreciated having the bin in our garden even more than usual. It only rained once in about 4 or 5 weeks, so it did get quite laborious lugging those buckets back and forth to ensure our vegetables and the wildflower patch got enough water. Maybe next year we can come up with a way of feeding our hosepipe straight from the bin. So as you can see, I watered my whole wildflower patch that I've sowed. It's been a few weeks now since I put the seeds in, and there are signs of life, don't worry. There are seedlings growing. I don't know if they're the right seedlings, I have no idea. They did suffer a bit with an early massacre from, I think, a flock of dunnocks. Little brown birds, and they go around the fields and eat seeds. So apparently they flew in and just totally wiped out my seeds. So I spread the rest of the packets over after that. Hopefully my DVDs have done a good job in keeping the other birds away, because there are lots of seedlings coming up. So fingers crossed we're going to get some wildflowers growing up, but they are starting to sprout. That area there is where I seeded the grass, and that's coming up amazingly. So hopefully that'll blend into our lawn pretty soon. And yeah, pretty happy. So keep our fingers crossed for some nice flowers coming up very soon.
Back to the boat installation. Yeah, I'm not too far off now. A little bit more here, a little bit more here and there. Should about do it. Yeah, that's spot on. Does it hang down? No, it doesn't. It should be fine. Not by much though. So what I'll do is I'll take a little bit more off, and I'll put another line above that, about 2 millimeters up, and that's where it's going to go. That's my straight line. Angle grinder again. Here we go. Yeah, you know what, that's pretty good. Now there's 2 screws that put the bracket on, and these are the ones that were supplied by the company, Lowlands. So these are the ones I'm going to use. I've marked where I'm going to drill the holes here. Now I am very anxious, I'm not lying here. I'm about to drill a hole in my boat, which I don't really want to have to do, but needs must. So here we go. So that's it going through. Now this stuff that I'm putting in is called Sikaflex, and it's very waterproof, but also you can use it underwater, I'm told. So I'm just going to fill that right up, just like that. And this one, get as much as I can in there. That's going in. Right, that is a lot of Sikaflex just going in there, but I'm going to try and get more in anyway. Give it some beans. And as I say, this stuff is extremely waterproof and extremely sticky as well, so it'll act as a like a glue as well, I guess. I'll try and get as much as I can, and try and put a bit more, in fact. Come on, in you go. Right, that's crammed full of the stuff now. The main thing is, let's get the bracket on. Screw number 1. Now, there's a gap behind here, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going back in with a friend again. If it's a little bit messy, then it's a little bit messy, but I'd rather have a little bit of a messy bracket than a sunk boat. Yep, that's far too much, and that's what I want. Nice and level. That, to me, I don't want to go any harder than that, and I don't want to go any harder than that. I'm happy. I'm not going to do any more to that. All I'm going to do is I'm going to clear away all this mess. But yep, that looks good to me. It's a right mess. Don't care. Let's clean it up. Right. That'll do me, I think. You don't have to eat your dinner off it. It's just to stop the boat from sinking. And so we can now fit the transducer. Beautiful. That's exactly where I wanted it. Now I want it to be in line with the hull, so I look along the hull and it's about there. I think those screws just need a tiny wee nip up actually, because there's a wee bit of movement there. Now that's solid. Beautiful. Nice. It's in position. Let's hope it stays that way. Stay tuned for the final part of the installation. We're very excited today because we're going to see the Waverley, which is the last paddle steamer, isn't it, in Scotland?
The last seagoing paddle steamer.
Right, I'm glad I got that right.
It's the first time this boat has come to Carbos, which is our local village, so everyone in the local area is quite excited about it.
Yeah.
Richard wants us to get some shots of it on the drone, ideally, because he helps out with, well, he's one of the directors of Carbos Waterfront, which is where it's docking, so he'd like us to get some shots, and we thought you'd like to see it too, so we're going to go check it out.
And they also invited us to go on board, so they're in for an even bigger treat than we just made out.
We did want to go on a trip, but it's about 6 hours for the whole trip, and we don't want to leave the boys for that long. It's not very fair to them, so we're just going to go down, have a look at it, and hopefully see the spectacle. Typically, it's been absolutely stunning weather for the last 4 or 5 weeks, and today is the day it breaks, and it's supposed to start raining anytime now.
Which is great for flying a drone.
So the wind has picked up, it's clouded over, which is a bit of a shame, but it's still going to be really cool. So let's head out.
Let's go. Come with us.
That's not her.
What, the tug? No, that's the tug that we scraped the barnacles off.
She's due in about 20 minutes at the pier at the end of the waterfront, so we're going to go find a position. Willie's going to get the drone up, see if we can get some shots. Though apparently there's 3 other drones flying today, so hopefully there's not a dogfight in midair.
As the Waverley approaches the pier, to ensure safe docking, the captain takes the boat out of forward gear and allows the paddles to come to a stop. Then, once the paddles are no longer moving, they engage the reverse gear. This makes the boat stop mid-water. Then they re-engage forward gear and continue their approach. They do this as a safety procedure to ensure the engine and gears are running properly before repeating the same stopping process when they come into dock.
Waverley was built in 1946 in a Glasgow shipyard to replace a previous PS Waverley that was sunk in 1940, helping to evacuate troops from Dunkirk.
Nice boat you've got here. I like your boat.
What do you think? You look like a
Yeah, we look alright in that place that we're not going to mention on camera. Hello!
Hi, Sam.
Fancy me and you two here.
They'll let anyone on this boat.
I know, the riffraff. They even let me on.
I know.
Here we are at the bow of the Waverley, look. Now what I was wanting to do was go out on the front there and shout I'm king of the world and spread my arms out, but I can't because you're not allowed on there. So I'll do it on Betty instead.
By 1973, the Waverley was the last seagoing paddle steamer in the world, a title that she still holds. At that time, she was operated as part of the Calmac fleet, but in September of that year, they announced that the Waverley would be withdrawn from service.
Just the engine is a bit bigger than a 60 horsepower.
Wow. A couple of months later, she was sold to the Paddle Steamer Preservation Society for the nominal amount of £1 and was back in service by 1975. We loved all the vintage details around the boat, as well as the incredible working engine room on display.
I'll go and find Sarah, they're going to cast off and I'll be stuck on here. I don't even know where it's going. I'm not meant to be going there, so I'm getting off.
Well, we're done, and it is raining! It hasn't rained in weeks. I was going to say months, but weeks.
I'll tell you what as well, it started raining when the drone was in the air, so I was very nervous. I had to get it back quick smart.
So the garden will be very thankful, but yeah, bit of a shame for the people on the boat. It would have been lovely in the really nice weather, but still beautiful. It's still really cool. Such a cool boat.
It's a lovely boat. We actually arranged this weather though. It's just so the people that come visit and think it's like this
really
all the time.
Authentic experience for Skye. Whoa! And
whoa!
Away!
And away! I just drove in a hole. It's got a hole of outside.
Not a good place to lie down, mate. Go on. Go on.
Go on, Lammy. That's the right way. Let's get this installation finished. Okay, I'm going to sand this milliput back. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be good. Now with the transducer in place and the console prepped to take the new unit, it was time to run the transducer cable to the steering console, securing the cable in place with cable ties. Then I increased the size of the larger hole I left for the transducer cable to go through. Alright, I'm just going to put this on now. I've just marked a couple of corners where I want it to go. Don't move it, whatever you do. I don't want to go too hard because I don't want to break plastic or over twist the screws. There is wood under there that it's screwed into as well. That's 4 screws holding that. Come on, there we go. Thinking about it. There we are. Oh, that's cool, man. I can maybe take the cover off now. There we go. Oh wow, that looks cool there. It looks really cool. Very solid. Now there's 2 cables, one of which I've put in intentionally so I can remove it easier, and that's the battery cable. But this one, I will put silicone in there and fill that hole up. You now have GPS, a chart plotter and a fish finder on the boat. And that's pretty cool. So I've hooked up the battery, I've still got to tidy up and stuff, but I'll do all that in a bit. I just want to see if it works. No. Yeah, I just didn't press the button long enough. What a tatty. Cool. And I've already preloaded some points in this. There's a spike in the ground here under the water. This is all pre-programmed when I set it up in the house. Side scan and instruments, there's lots to learn, but what I'm probably going to have it like is this. So this will have the depth and what's going on underneath the boat, and this here will be wherever we are, wherever we're plotting. So you've got a chart plotter and you've got your depths and everything on this side, your fish finder as well. So yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. What do you reckon? Here we are, time for your inspection.
Aye aye.
Hey!
Hey.
Cool?
Mm-hmm.
Thumbs up?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Thanks.
Sturdy.
Nice.
As always, folks, thank you so much for watching our video. We really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please do leave us a like, a comment, or subscribe if you don't already. It's free to do, helps our channel to grow, and you get notified when our new videos come out, which is every week, Wednesday night, 8 PM UK time.
If you did enjoy the video and you'd like to help the channel further, you can do so over on Ko-fi. You can buy us a coffee or the dogs a wee treat, and what I really mean is you help with the running costs of making these videos for you every week.
Or if you want to help us out more long term, you can join our amazing community over on Patreon, where you get bonus content, including an extra video per month, for helping us out.
If you're interested in our creative endeavours, you can go over to Sarah's Etsy store for her artworks, like these.
Or you can head across to Willie's Bandcamp page for his original music, with songs like these.
These old walls saw 100 lives, from the days of old to these days of mine. I don't mind if the storm hits tonight. There's no reason to go outside.
As usual, all the links to our pages are in the video description
Below. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you next week. Bye, folks.
What was it you just did there? Thanks again for watching.
Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next week. So you will. Isn't it wonderful? Living the Skye life. 2 thumbs up from Billy Connolly. Sort of.
Legal disclaimer, Billy Connolly does not know about living the Skye life, nor does he endorse the channel, nor did he feature in this video. Thank you, goodbye.
We're leaving our suburban life, moving over the sea to Skye. Are we chasing a dream? I guess in time we will see, when we're living the Skye life. Living the Skye life. Was it sticking his head through the fence? I'm glad that Nori's not out there.
He's getting used to him.
He is getting used to them, but if a lamb sticks his head through his fence into his garden, that's a different story altogether. It's a different kettle of lamb.
Even Nori respects the fence boundary.
Yeah, I know, but he does now, because I made it not have holes in it. It's a bit windy, a bit choppy. Maybe not the best day to do this, but it's must in that.
Alright. I don't know how to start this.
I do.
But I'm just pinching. Nori! Leave the peas alone! Give peas a chance, Nori. Another mummy!
Is it eating our grass again? Hope it's not eating
They're
eggs.
very distracting. Fingers crossed, we're going to get some wildflowers. Nori. That area there is... Hi. Okay, no.
Click here to subscribe to live in the Skye life.
Click here to go back to the start of our adventures with our very first episode.